If you believe that it's too early to begin teaching your children about financial responsibility, you are mistaken. It is never too early. The earlier a habit is implemented, the better it will work. Raising financially responsible children has its own set of advantages. From a very young age, your child learns the value of money. Raising children with such knowledge not only increases their awareness of money and its value, but it also increases their confidence. One of the best things you can do for your children is talk about money. Ron Lieber writes in his excellent book, The Opposite of Spoiled, Raising Children Who Are Grounded, Generous, and Money Smart, that every conversation about money is also about values. Patience is also a requirement for allowance. It is about being generous when you give. Perseverance is required for work. The connotations around money range from greed to shame and even disgust. This is usually the reason why most families don't openly discuss money. If you're growing your financial wealth, it is imperative that you teach your children about the value and importance of money. There's no point in building wealth only to leave it in the hands of an uneducated generation. Teaching your children about money is one of the most valuable lessons you can give your children. It's the best way to get them ready for the real world. 11. Start making them save. According to a Wells Fargo survey about saving habits, 71% of the adults responded by saying that they learned the value of saving through their parents. With this being said, only 1/3 of today's parents, approximately 36%, report discussing the importance of saving money with their children on a regular basis. A whopping 64% said that they talk about it less than once a week, sometimes never. A fun way to teach your kids about saving is by giving them an allowance. Tell them they can either save or spend this money as they please. But with a catch, of course. If there's a friend's birthday coming up, for example, tell them that they'll have to save up their own money for the gift. Encourage them to make money outside of their allowance. This could include giving them a bonus for extra work around the house, helping them find a summer job, or even a part-time job. Starting their own mini business is a fantastic way to get their business mind up and running. Lemonade stands are always a crowd pleaser at the height of summer. Saving money is a rewarding experience in and of itself, but it is also a habit that has a significant impact on a child's thinking. Money management teaches 1. Patience and perseverance. Good things come to those who wait and save. 2. Priorities. Would you rather buy the $5 toy or put $5 towards a new bike? 3. Financial self-control. Discipline and delayed gratification lead to success. 4. Resourcefulness. Would you rather have the bike or a new iPhone now? What could you do to earn or save more money? While whole life insurance is excellent for long-term savings, we should not use policy loans for minor purchases that can be saved separately. This is an important lesson you should teach your kids. Consider a money jar, envelope, or even separate savings account for short-term savings. Just make sure there are no monthly fees. 10. Foster independence. The authors of The Cycle of the Gift, Family, Wealth, and Wisdom stress the importance of allowing children to pay their dues and forge their own paths in life. For example, hiring a child for positions in family businesses for which they are not qualified is not a good thing. It is sometimes preferable to let them gain experience somewhere else first. When children of any age are repeatedly rescued, subsidized, or promoted without earning it, they lose the ability and confidence to help themselves. They frequently live beyond their means because they lack a clear sense of responsibility or the value they bring to the market, and they will continue to return to the bank of mom or dad for their next financial fix. According to Thomas Stanley, author of The Millionaire Next Door, The Millionaire Mind, and other books, such financial gifts are economic outpatient care, and they usually backfire. The more a child is given, the less likely they are to save, and the less financially responsible they become. The fundamental lesson that Stanley emphasizes throughout his books is that if we want our children to be self-sufficient, we must stop supporting them when they don't require it. 9. Teach your child the value of money. Getting your child involved in adult tasks is a fun way to teach them about the value of money. Here's a great way to do this. The next time you go to the grocery store, hand your child a small sum of money, and then tell them they can pick an item or two which fall under this budget. Then encourage them to pay for it themselves at the till. They learn how to handle money, and also feel a sense of pride when they accomplish an adult task. Before we continue to the next point, if you're finding value in this video so far, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. 8. Treat your child's rewards as if they were paychecks. Taxation is a complex concept that even many adults don't understand. Teaching your children this concept from an early age is crucial. You can do this by explaining the purpose of taxation. For example, every time you give your child some money, tell them that you will deduct a small amount and deposit it in the bank. In a sense, this money is the tax that in the real world would be paid to the government. Not only are you teaching them about taxation, because the money is going into a bank account, you're also helping them build their savings. It is up to you when you'd like to tell your child about the savings and ensure they treat it wisely. 7. Teach your child the value of saving, spending, and sharing. The save, spend, share model reflects what most people would do with their hard-earned money, or bank accounts. Prepare 3 glass jars or 10 cans and label one with save, the second with spend, and the third with share to make the practice more interesting for your child. Next, inform your child about the concept. The save jar contains funds set aside for a large or expensive purchase that they desire, such as a PlayStation or a bicycle. As a reward for their hard work, they have money in the spend jar to spend as they please. The share jar contains funds that your child will donate to his or her chosen charity. This is a great way to teach your child about philanthropy and the value of sharing his blessings with those who are less fortunate. Decide on the percentage that should go into each jar after discussing it with your child. These creative and fun ways of teaching your child about financial responsibility will help instill the value of money in them from an early age. 6. Games and applications. Talking about finances can sometimes bore adults, so no doubt children might get fed up with it. This is where technology saves the day. There are a lot of educational and entertaining games that children can play to learn about finances. There are also helpful apps. If, say, your child is having a hard time writing down how much money they're making with each chore, they can use apps, which can do the calculations for them. After you've talked to them about the basics of finance, allow them to use these apps and games to really apply the knowledge they've been given. 5. Encourage family participation in financial decision-making. Give your children the opportunities to make age-appropriate financial decisions around the house. As they grow older, give them bigger responsibilities. This will teach them money management before their time. This ensures that they know exactly what financial responsibility feels like before their first paycheck. Why is this important? So that they aren't clueless and don't mindlessly spend their money. Appoint your child to the board of directors of the family foundation. Make it fun and exciting. The key here is to respect your children's choices. Even if they differ from yours, take into account that they're still in the learning process. While yes, there are right and wrong answers, politely guide them towards the desired results. 4. Do not be afraid of failure. Children with successful parents frequently have a disproportionate fear of failure. While their parents' willingness to take risks is likely to have contributed to their success, their children may be afraid of not living up to their parents' examples, and as a result, do whatever they can to avoid being perceived as making a mistake. This fear of failure can be detrimental. It makes children less likely to try new things or take on tasks that are difficult for them. It may also help to explain why children from affluent families have higher rates of anxiety. When failing isn't an option, every action becomes a high-stakes test. In some cases, parents worsen the problem by intervening to protect their children from the consequences of poor decisions. However, while this may benefit their children in the short run, it reinforces risk-aversion tendencies in the long run. Furthermore, research has linked over-involved parenting to higher rates of childhood depression and anxiety. 3. Teach your kids to budget. Budgeting is a crucial financial concept. You must be able to track your income and expenses in order to grow your wealth. Saving, investing, and even charity are all contingent on the budget. There are a variety of age-appropriate methods for teaching a child the budget. However, creating envelopes labeled Save, Spend, and Give is the best method. When your child receives money, have them divide it evenly among these 3 categories. You can work with them to develop more specific ratios as they get older, such as 50% save, 40% spend, and 10% give. 2. Lead by example. Your children are looking up to you at the end of the day. The most important thing you can do is set a good example. If you're encouraging them to work hard, save money, and avoid unnecessary purchases, make sure you're doing the same. They will learn far more by watching you than they will by listening to you. You will give your children a huge advantage over their peers if you can teach them basic financial skills before they grow up and leave the house. Not only will they be more likely to earn more over their lifetime, but they will also be able to avoid the stupid mistakes that hold so many young adults back in their 20s and 30s back. 1. Don't give them everything they want. No is one of the most important words a parent must learn. As children begin to grasp the concept of ownership, they must also be taught that they cannot have everything they desire. Many parents struggle with this because they want to provide for their children, and it is tempting to spoil them because you love them so much. You will, however, raise a far better person if you teach them that they cannot have everything and must prioritize their desires based on factors such as time and money. This concept instills scarcity as well as discipline. Well, parents, I do hope these points help you out. And if you're interested, you can download my free savings and budgeting guides down below. With that said, have a great day and see you in the next one.